G'day, welcome to the show. Salt Covers here. Bad day yesterday. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was a bad day. We walked into yesterday. All four or all five of my, well, 4 out of 5 bets walked into those great games with plus CLV tickets, but we lose 2 out of 3, and that's what happens. Like, even like a good bet's still gonna lose 45% of the time. That's okay. Looking back, we had the Pelicans and Pistons. Pistons -11. That spread got as big as 14. And then Cade, late scratch, not even on the injury report. No word about him having a calf injury. Pelicans win that game. Sorry, Pistons win that game by 6. Hate to see that. Next, we had the Sixers and Hawks over. I'm going to talk more about Sixers overs later in the show. We cashed 4 units on that, but we did try playing back 2 units on the under. That game closed at 240, I believe. That game went well over, finished at around 253, I believe. Next, we had the Blazers plus 9.5 against the Celtics. That spread closed at Boston -6. Got some injury news to break our way. Celtics win that game by 13. Hate to see it from the Blazers. Lastly, we titled the last show, we're placing the ugliest bet today, and Heat -3.5. When I placed it, was the ugliest bet. Now, yeah, injury news broke our way. We ended up getting Bam and Hero to play that game, but we also did like the spot for the Heat. Bit of a revenge spot for them. They lost outright as 10-point favorites against the Hornets, now getting 3.5. Like, you just had to take them, even though they'd lost 9 or 10 straight. Now, looking back, also make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. How many subscribers are we on? I think we're on about like maybe 65, 67. Can we get to 70? Would love to see 70 by the end of tomorrow, by the time we start recording the next episode. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter at SaltCovers, just above me. We have 6 bets placed for today, and all 6 of them are ahead of the market. That's all you can hope for going into it. There are still going to be days where we're down 2 units, where we have losing days, but the best you can hope for is walking into a game with a good ticket. So let's get into it. A few more spots I'm looking at as well. This is not the first game. Let's just get the odds up. So the first game we'll be looking at is the Minnesota Timberwolves playing the Indiana Pacers. There we go. So this spread opened at Indiana -1. Opened at the sharp books at Indiana -2. Anthony Edwards is questionable with a cut hand or a cut finger. He did not answer questions after the Pelicans game. Wolves coming off a big win against the Pelicans. Pacers coming off 2 uninspiring wins against the Nets, where the Nets covered both games. Both games a bit closer than you would like for the Pacers. In this spot, we got projected at Wolves -1, so I do like the Wolves in this spot. Now, Ant he's a bit of a question mark. I would expect Ant to play. Like, the Wolves are 7th at the moment. They're a half game behind the Warriors for that 6th seed, trying to stay out of the play-in. All the teams, like the coaching staff, they do not want to be in the play-in. I expect Ant to play. But will he shoot well? I don't know. Like, having a cut on your finger, if you've ever played basketball before, if you've got a cut on your finger, if you've got if you jarred your finger, like if you've injured your hand, that impacts your shooting so much. So, haven't taken Wolves against the spread as of yet. We haven't seen much movement off the sharp number of 2. Maybe if it moves back to 1.5 at one of the sharp books, maybe you can sell me on some Wolves. In that instance, instead of a 1.5, I'd just take Wolves money line, try and get that for plus money. Wolves also in revenge spots. So the Wolves did lose outright to the Pacers less than a week ago. They were like 9-point favorites that game. Wolves in revenge spots, 18-11 against the spread and straight up. So that's a nice angle to play into for the Wolves. Definitely, I like the Wolves. Definitely not playing the Pacers in this game, but where I've got my money is on the under in this game. We're forecasting some bricks in this game. Yeah, like I said, these two teams played a week ago in Minnesota. Rudy Gobert, Andrew Nembhard both got into a bit of a fight. Both got ejected. So the angle that I'm playing into is, yeah, we've got projected total at 229, accounting for fully healthy teams. You've got that injury risk with Ant. Minnesota also 17-12 to the under in these revenge spots. This is even better when they've lost as an outright favorite. They are 14-8 to the under in these revenge spots. I expect the Wolves to come out, play hard defense. We like the under here, now sitting at 230.5. Not much of an edge there, bit of a coin flip. So we like our 232.5 ticket, got that down for 3 units. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter, man. That's where you get these bets. I'm pissed off I didn't get the 233.5 as well. Next, we have the Lakers in Orlando, and this is a game where I've got to have a look at my projections because I've got this game projected as Magic -2. Yeah, I don't know about that. So we saw this open at 3.5 to the Lakers at the rec books. That quickly moved up to 4 and then 4.5. Sharp books opened at 4. Now we see a pretty universal 4.5 everywhere. Yeah, do I really want to back the Magic here in a get right spot for the Lakers? No. I mean, this is going to be like the Magic Super Bowl though. Like, you know what they say, like everyone gets up to play the Lakers. Like that is true. Like the Magic will get up for this game, just like they got up for the Cavs game. Magic coming off a win against the Wizards. Yeah, so maybe you can talk me into some Magic if the spread moves back towards them. For now, not going to play it. Not going to bet against this Lakers team, even though we did with the Bulls. Much happier taking an 11-point spread over a 4.5-point spread, and the Bulls are currently playing a lot better than the Magic. Looking at the total, we saw this open at 213.5 at the rec books, opened at 215.5 at the sharp books, and now we've seen some movement towards the over off the sharp number. At 216, it looks like there's a bit of an edge here towards the under. We got this total projected at 210.5, but again, these Lakers projections are a bit tough to manipulate given that they are just a completely different team right now. We also see a bit of juice now on the Magic spread. That's interesting. Haven't seen any of the sharp books move off that 4.5 though, so just gonna stay off it for now. Same with the total, and yeah, just Magic are just they're one of these teams that I don't love playing Magic games because I think they're a lot better than what they've shown, and just without Jalen Suggs still, Cole Anthony is questionable. Not playing into this. LeBron is probable. I expect him to play. Let's move on. Can I interest you in some Raptors Wizards? If you watch this game, you are a sick man, but if you bet on this game, you're a very smart man because there were some great angles to play into this game. One of them I managed to snap up, one of them I didn't, and I'm pissed off about that. Let's look at the spread. This spread opened at Raptors -3. Sharp books opened. What did they open at? They opened at Sharp books opened at Wizards -1. So big discrepancy there. And like, yeah, we've got this game projected at Raptors -4, but that accounts for a Raptors team that isn't tanking, that isn't sitting half of their team every single game and not playing their starters 24 minutes a game. Raptors in a back-to-back spot here. Very simple cap for this spread. The Raptors do not want to win this game. The Wizards don't really care if they win this game or not. The Wizards are like locked into a top 3 seed for Clipper Flag, if you want to call it that. Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton are in, and like the Wizards, like they've been playing a bit better recently. Like they were like historically bad in the first half of the season, and like since the All-Star break, they've just been like kind of regular bad. Raptors, Emmanuel Quickly is out. Jakob Poeltl might be out. But again, we don't have an injury report for the Raptors as of yet, but I do expect them to sit players given that it is a back-to-back spot and they do not want to win. So, yeah, we missed out on Wizards money line. We missed out on Wizards +3. I wish I got those, but if you did, congratulations. Where my money is on the under. We picked up an under 231.5. Got that down for 2 units. I wish I picked up the 233.5. Now we see it 227.5. Sharp Books opened this at 227.5, right in line with where we've got this projected at 225.5. Now, yeah, as we see a big edge towards the under, but I haven't played this that strong just because you do have a Wizards team that is a pace-up team. You have a Raptors team that isn't interested in playing any defense. So now at 227, bit of a coin flip. Wouldn't play into that. So let's move on. God, just another disgusting game. Like some of these March basketball games are they're just putrid. Ugh. I don't even want to talk about this game, eh? Like, look, the spread, I've got nothing on the spread. D'Angelo Russell is questionable. Zaire Williams is also questionable. They're both key contributors for the Nets. Nets want to tank. Dallas want to try get in the play-in. I don't think they're tanking. Evan Davis is coming back soon. You know, we saw the total here open at 215.5. And like, I had a look at it against the projections, and I was like, wow, there's an edge here for a Nets over. I've got this projected at 221. Like, is that correct? I hesitated, and then it just moves up to 217.5. Sharp Books opened it at 217.5. And now we've seen movement up off the sharp number to 219. I'm not going to chase steam, neither should you. You know, D'Lo being out, he's an overplayer, so don't really like that. But all in all, let's get this game off my screen and let's get into another just disgusting game. Just disgusting. We have Sixers and Pelicans. Projected line at Pelicans -3. The rec books open this at Pelicans -5. The sharp books open this at Pelicans -6. So we've seen a bit of movement off the sharp number. Still at 7. Yeah, Pelicans coming off they lost in Detroit. Now traveling back home to play in a back-to-back. The Sixers also played. Yeah, that's right. They also played. They lost to the Atlanta Hawks. Got blown out there. So yeah, we see a nice edge for the Pelicans. Now, if it was 7, it would be a nice edge for the Sixers, sorry, but do I really want to bet the Sixers? No. Maybe if the market moves that way, maybe, but just probably not. What I want to talk to you about is Sixers overs. Sixers overs, baby. 8 out of the Sixers' last 9 games have just steamed up. I can see a hole in my ceiling right now. That's because of Sixers overs. Every single game, it seems like they're just catching over steam. This is because they are the second worst defense in the NBA since the All-Star break. The Spurs are the worst. The Sixers, yes, they are 26th in pace. They are actually 15th in pace since the All-Star breaks. They are pushing the pace a little bit more, and then they're also just playing horrendous defense. So, look, like it's starting to get to the point where, like, if you see a Sixers total that is at 230 or lower, and they're playing a team that isn't the Magic, Hornets, or Nets, you should probably just bet the over, throw your opinion out the window. So that's what we did. We saw this at 231. We also saw 230.5 on the board, and we played the over. Like, just, yes, projected total at 231. I don't care. Like, Sixers have been catching over steam. I'm going to play into that. Now we see it at 233. Good ticket. Play that for 2.5 units. Zion, I don't know if he'll play. He missed the last one due to a back injury. Maybe he'll play. I mean, the Pelicans are liable to rest CJ. Obviously, they don't have Trey Murphy anymore. I couldn't name more than 4 Sixers players right now. There's Quentin Grimes. There's Boner. I think there's a Martin. Like, obviously, you got Embiid, Paul George, Maxey, Kelly Oubre, but none of those guys are playing. Oh, I've got Gershon Yabusele. That's 3 players. Yeah, so we're happy with over 230.5. Now at 233, not worth playing into. Make sure you go follow me at Salt Covers. Get these bets as I place them. Maybe looking at some Sixers if this starts to move back, but it would just be a stinky bet. Just like that Heat bet, it would just be an ugly bet. Next, we have the Bulls by Chicago Bulls. Not really, but Chicago Bulls playing in Denver. Bulls, no, they're not on a back-to-back. Nuggets are on a back-to-back. Nuggets, nice win in Houston as like 8-point underdogs. Houston, like I said, another team I just don't want to go anywhere near any of their games. Can't get a great feel for that team. Thought with Fred VanVleet back, they'd start to like return to that early season form, but no. Looking at this game, projected line at Nuggets -3.5. That doesn't count for Jokic for the most part. Some of the recent history, which is factored into this, does not include Jokic. So look, I would say there is a bit of an edge to the Bulls. I'd certainly, like, gun to my head, I would take the Bulls against the spread over the Nuggets against the spread. But the Bulls are just playing over their heads at the moment. And like, yes, they've just been killing it against the spread lately. They've covered like 13 out of the last 17 games. I am waiting on a spot to sell high on the Bulls. I just don't think it's this game. They are playing the Lakers at home soon. That's a game that I've got circled. Nice little revenge spot for the Lakers. That's one that I am looking to back the Lakers and fade the Bulls. So yeah, certainly lean on the Bulls here, but I haven't bet it. Looking at the total though, look at that edge there. We've got this game projected at 251.5. Now that does account for mostly a healthy Jokic. I'd say Jokic probably worth between 7 to 10 points to a total. Now, depending on who the Nuggets start, I mean, if they start Russell Westbrook, that's great. He's a pace-up player. May not lead to efficient offense, but he's a pace-up player. That's good for an over. DeAndre Jordan, I do not love that for an over. But we look at these projections, even if you price in Jokic being out, like he'd still have that at minimum 241, maybe 243. So this was one that I was waiting on a bit of market movement, see it at 238, picked up a 237.5, played that for 2 units, now sitting at 239.5. So we love to see that. I still think this one might have a bit of room to continue to go up. So out of the bets that I've placed, yes, all of them have moved, but this is one that I'd still play. Next, Bucks and Suns. Damian Lillard is out for this game, so is Bradley Beal. Nick Richards is probable. Bucks coming off a nice win without Dame against the Kings. Suns also coming off a nice win against... Was the last game against the Cavs? I think it was, yeah. Their last win coming against the Cavs. Suns have been playing a lot better recently, beating the Cavs, beating the Bulls. They played the Rockets tough. They've been playing good teams tough as well, which is what you like to see. So Yeah, look, here we saw the spread open at Suns -1. We got this projected as a pick'em, but we know that the Bucks are just one of these teams that play a lot better at home, a lot worse on the road. Suns playing well. Dame sat out the last game, so we knew that he might not play this game. We see a Suns -1. I was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm down for a Suns -1. Played that for 3 units. Then we see Dame gets announced that he's out. Now we see the spread at three, some 3.5s also popping up. Let's see where the sharp books open this at. They open this at Suns -3. So a bit of movement towards the Suns, which is what we like to see. This spread I wouldn't touch now at 3. I'm happy with my -1. And in fact, if I see this get to 4, I will be playing some back on the Bucks, probably a unit down on the Bucks. This is also the Coach Bud revenge game. You know, we're just going to throw a revenge angle on anything. You know, KD, after the Cavs game, he did hint at this, that the team will get up for this game, that they do want to go out there and play well for Coach Bud against his former team. So, like to see that. Let's talk about the total. We saw this open at 234.5. We saw this open at the sharp books at 226. Now we see it at 225.5. So a bit of movement off that sharp number under. Almost all of that has to do with Damian Lillard sitting out. He is a top 3 over player in the league, along with Trae Young and Steph Curry, maybe Nikola Jokic as well. Just horrible defense, great offense. We got this game projected around 234. That accounts for a healthy Dame. This under, I did not get any action down on it. I wish I did, but now at 225.5, wouldn't play into that. Let's look at the last game on the card, which is the Boston Celtics playing in Sacramento. Boston on a back-to-back where we had the Blazers against them. Celtics played very well that game, took care of a good Blazers team at home. Celtics, one of these teams, like, there's the Bucks who play really well at home, really bad on the road, and then there's the Celtics who just don't skip a beat on the road. In fact, they might even play better on the road. They have the best net rating in the league on the road. Yeah, so Kings coming off a loss against the Bucks. Malik Monk and Sabonis are questionable. Boston injury report hasn't came out yet. This is a back-to-back travel spot for them. I would say KP is going to play. He missed the last game due to conditioning. I expect KP to play. I would mark Drew Holiday and Tatum as questionable. Jaylen Brown as doubtful. You know, the Celtics, like the Cavs, they are a team that I want to back when they've got guys sitting out. They do have guys who can just plug in and play well. Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, Baylor Scheinman. I need to see where this guy popped up from, because I just see his name pop up on Twitter all the time. I have no idea what he looks like. I just know he's definitely white. I mean, you look at that name, you're like, yep, he's a white guy. He can probably shoot. And yeah, Celtics, we saw the spread open at -3.5 at the sharp books. We picked up the Celtics -3 for 3 units. The angle that I'm playing into here is the Celtics are pretty good in revenge spots here. So the Kings did beat the Celtics in Boston about a month and a half ago, where they were 12-point underdogs. Celtics in a revenge spot where they lost the previous matchup against the same team, 11-5 against the spread. We also saw now at -4. I still think maybe that's worth playing into. If this gets to 5 though, I'd probably play some of it back on the Kings, but if you're coming into this game with nothing, you're not tailing me on Twitter, Celtics is definitely the side to take. I only play back some of my bets to just mitigate some of the risk. Looking at the total, we saw this total open at 226.5 at the rec books. We saw it open at 225 at the sharp books. Yeah, so this is an interesting one. We haven't seen the total really move off that sharp number of 225.5. We've got this total projected at 232.5, 233. So yeah, we see a big edge towards the over here. I personally haven't played it yet. The Celtics, third slowest team in the league, but they do get up a lot of threes. That's why the total's probably so big and they're so good offensively. And yeah, this is one of the spots where I am waiting on some market information along with the Sixers against the spread, along with maybe the Bulls against the spread. I've already got a lot of action down. The same with the Wolves and Magic. Um, so yeah, over looking long and hard at it, but I've got another trend that kind of scares me off. Let me just get that up. So yeah, Celtics, yeah, in these same revenge spots, they are 6 and 10 to the over, so that's not great. So yeah, we've taken the Celtics here, looking at the over, but not 100% sold on it. Let's get into our best bets for the day. We have 6 of them, and all 6 are ahead of the market. Wolves and Pacers under for 3 units. Raptors Wizards under for 2 units. Both of those markets have moved at least 2 points, if not more. We've got the Sixers and Pelicans over 230.5. Got that down for 2.5 units. Just blind betting these Sixers overs. You also got the Nuggets and the Bulls over. We got that game projected at 251 with Jokic. I don't think Jokic is worth 14 points to a spread. 2 points of CLV there. We also like the Celtics against the spread and the Suns against the spread. In terms of what you can play right now, I still think the Bulls and Nuggets total is playable. I don't think maybe Boston -4 is still playable, but I don't like the Suns -3. Yeah, so look, keep an eye on my Twitter. Yeah, spots I'm looking at, Wolves money line if it moves that way. Maybe Magic against the spread. Maybe Sixers against the spread. Maybe Boston Kings over. I already got a lot of action down, so we will see. Until next time, let's get them books salty.